So I've been sick for 3 days. I've been stuck in my bed, and I haven't had a whole lot to do. It's been pretty boring, actually. Today's video is going to be like as raw as it can get. So, meaning the footage is going to be very unedited, and it's just going to be me. So I guess I'll just start with this cold. It's just been awful. Probably the worst one I've ever had. Like complete body aches, to the point where like as soon as I got hit with this cold, I literally couldn't get out of bed. Luckily I was able to like work with people and not have to go to work. So that was good, and like just rest, but it literally just knocks you on your butt to the point where you just can't do anything. So I've been just like laying in bed. The first 2 days, I watched 4 episodes of Gilmore Girls. I watched 2 TED Talks. I watched 2 documentaries, Food Inc. and Hungry for Change. Those are 2 really good documentaries. You should definitely watch those. I watched 3 BioShock gameplay playthroughs. Oh man, I watched something else. I watched a ton of stuff. Like, because I have Netflix in my room, and I just literally was in my bed for like 48 hours straight, just watching stuff and just being miserable. I hope that you guys had a good New Year's. Mine was pretty good, except I got sick the next day, but New Year's was pretty quality, pretty low key night. Didn't do anything crazy. I was talking to Hay Bales actually the other day. She's one of the British YouTubers that I talk to every now and again, and we were just talking about New Year's and Christmas, and it flew by so quick. It's like ridiculous. You guys might have seen Bill, my pastor, in the church video. I met with him this week, and we had just a bunch of talks just about like the church and different things like that, and like moving forward. We're going to be launching and opening this new church hopefully in the spring, and we've done so much work to it, and like there's so much that needs to be done. We cut down tons of trees and did landscaping, and there's just been a lot of hard work. That it's really cool because we're like a really small church. There's only like probably 40 or something of us, and so when we have like work days, we kind of all like band together and just work together, and it's been really cool just to work as a team and rebuild this. But him and I were talking about just like what things should look like moving into the new church, and what do we want, stuff like that. And I was telling him like I think that YouTube and Instagram is like would be so cool to have for the church, and that's something that I'm gonna work on, because like if I went to a church and I opened up the bulletin, I don't know if you've ever been to church or not, or what your experiences with churches are and stuff. We're a non-denominational church. We're not Catholic. We're not, I don't know, we're non-denominational. And so when you go to our church, we give you a bulletin, and you come in, and we have worship music. So a good friend Joe, he's our worship leader. He's actually younger than me, and he's just phenomenal. So we got guitars and drums and play music. It's really good, and sermon and things like that. But anyway, I think it'd be really cool to have Instagram and YouTube on the bulletin, because like if you walked into a church and you opened up the bulletin, you're just like, wait, this church has Instagram and YouTube? Like, what is that about? Like the first thing I would do when I get home is like check that out, and I was thinking it'd be cool to have stuff to like post on the church YouTube page. Like there's a lot of churches that have YouTube pages, but the videos they post are just kind of like can be really just downer or boring and stuff like that. Nothing against that, and we're not here entirely to entertain people, at least at the church and stuff like that. We're here to tell people about Jesus, and I'm here, at least within the church, I'm around to tell people how much I care about my relationship with God and stuff. But it would be really cool to have a YouTube page where you could just like update people weekly on kind of like what's going on, like even just all the building and everything right now. Because I think a lot of you who obviously are from all over the world and stuff like that, you might actually even find that interesting, just getting like an inside view of all of like this old, like okay, so when we're cutting down all of the trees, I I went to like one of the back rooms with some people, and I looked in the corner of this one room. I don't know if you go back and watch the church video. If you haven't seen it, you can just go check it out. But there's this one room, and there's like behind the stage that you can go into this room. Anyway, in the corner of the room, I noticed the carpet was torn up a little bit, and there was a hatch. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this, like a hatch door or something. So, anyway, long story short, I ended up pulling up the carpet. I got crowbars and just started bashing up the floor. And we discovered this like giant secret like hatch door. And I was like, I felt like I was on the Goonies or something, or like treasure hunting. It was so cool. So anyway, after like 20 minutes, we busted the thing open. And there was nothing in it. It was just like floor joists. But it was so exciting. And the church is from like the 1800s. So, yeah, so there's just like, who knows what you can find in it. So I think it'd be cool to have like a YouTube page to update people on like what's going on with the church. So, that's been going on, which has been kind of exciting. It's just working with him, to try and like, I don't know, just work on the church and figure out what's gonna work and what's not gonna work and all that good stuff. So some of you guys know that I like run a business. My brother and I own a business together. I started it when I was really young, and anyway, I'm not gonna get into that because that's like a whole long story. But this year we are consolidating everything and kind of changing things, and it's going to free me up to really be able to, for the first time actually I think in my life, to be able to like step back and say like, okay, like what do I want to do? Like if I could do anything, you know, and just like, I don't know, spend some time just, I guess, seeking God's heart in it and just seeing where he wants to use me. And I don't know what that's going to look like, if that's going to look like me moving, or me staying right where I am, or me going away on missions, or I have no idea. So that's kind of a really strange place for me to be in right now, and that's kind of the main topic in my head, is the fact that I've always been the kid who has everything all together, and like I say that lightly, because if you know me and you spent time with me, I'm like crazy. But I'm consistent. I'm like consistently crazy. Oh my gosh. I'm really passionate. Like anything that I lock onto that I like, I'm extremely passionate about. I go for 100%. I tend to do really well at it, but then I either lose interest quickly or I get really passionate about something else. But I'm consistent in that, in which it all kind of lines up with my values, and yeah, I'm not sure really where 2015 is going to take me, and I've basically been spending the past couple weeks before I got sick planning, unplanning, if that makes any sense. So basically opening doors and making room, lots of room for me to be able to just explore and not have a plan, which sounds kind of weird and is altogether really scary for me. Like I said, I've always been the kid who's, you know, when you ask, oh, what are you doing, or what are you going to do, and I've always had like a 5-step plan in my head, and I could tell you exactly what you want to hear, and I could tell you exactly what you're doing and why you're doing it. Like, everyone always laughs at me because I'm always like, I need to have a job where I'm making good money so I can support my family, and blah, 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 and I want to get a house, you know, by this time probably, and this, that, and the other. And they're like, they're goals that I've never really actually, I think, fully thought through, like what would it actually be like if I had a house before I was 25, or all these different things, and what that would actually look like realistically, or how it would tie me down, or how it went in, or, you know, everyone's like, Bobby, you're like still single, like you don't even have a family to provide for, and you're like stressing already about like how you're gonna, and like, I don't know, guys, I'm weird. So 2015 for me is going to be a year of just, you know, I have some plans in place, and I have obviously solid things in place to cover me financially for my bills and things like that. All that's taken care of, but freeing myself up to just maybe either spend a year figuring out what I want to do, or spend a year doing lots of things that I've always wanted to do, which sounds a lot better. But like, I want to go whitewater rafting this year, which I believe is in the plans, in the making. And I already have a GoPro lined up, so you guys will be able to come along on that journey. I've got, I want to go puffin watching. If you don't know what puffins are, they're like penguins, but they're not quite penguins. And I want to do that, and that's going to be somewhere in Maine, way up in Maine apparently. And I want to plan a trip to that, because someone in my family is going to be doing that. Excuse me. So I want to go whitewater rafting, puffin watching. I just bought a new truck, which is pretty sweet. I love it. And that's going to free me up to, I used to have the small Mazda, and it was so pain for everything. So now that I have a truck, I have a kayak that I bought last year. And I have my mountain bike, so I can just go biking along the ocean. I want to go kayaking in the ocean. I want to there's tons of different outdoors stuff I want to do. I really want to rock climb this year. All sorts of like outdoors stuff. So I've got lots of fun things that when I think about, I'm like really excited about doing this year. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. This has been a morning talk with Bobby, straight out of bed into my rambling head. That was pretty good, right? That was pretty good. Come on, you know it. Throw a like on the video if any of this was any good. And let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think about anything in this video? What do you think about my cold? Do you have any remedies or things that help you when you have a cold? What do you think about the church? And Instagram and YouTube, and following along with that? Is that something that, like, you know, if I start a new channel for that, you'd be interested in following? That's going to be more for just the church and new members of that and whatever, and whoever comes along in that. But it'd be really cool just to branch out, and just anyone can join in the journey. You guys are doing well. I probably look like a mess right now because I'm like, blah. I need to get better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good look, right? Swedish model. I'm a Swedish model. Okay. I probably should end this video now. This is what it's like hanging out with me. Not really. I'm a lot more lively than this. It's just really, when you got like just a hunk of metally camera just like chilling, just staring at you, it's kind of like sit in a room with a chair. That's basically like the only interaction you have. So I gotta like imagine like lots of people behind, you know. So there's like, hey Bales, I imagine you're watching this. Phoebe, Emily, my buddy Sean. Just naming people that I know watch my videos from time to time. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I will talk to you guys later. Ugh.